Good afternoon, collectors. It's Thursday. Welcome to Facebook Live. I'd like to take a minute today to welcome all of our newcomers to our Thursday afternoon chat. If you comment or respond to something, please let us know where you're watching from today. And if this is your first time visiting with us, let us know that as well. So welcome to everyone that's new, and welcome back to everyone who's joined us on multiple occasions. So we're starting with our trivia contest because this is the 45th anniversary of the original Snow Village in 2021. So as you can see here, it must have something to do with snow. So here's the question, and I'll repeat it again at the end. In what year did Department 56 introduce a well-loved product for the villages called Real Plastic Snow? I think this is the greatest name for a product of all time. And here's what Real Plastic Snow looks like. And this doesn't look like a very big bag, but when you open this up and spread it out, it really is quite a bit of snow. So we currently offer Real Plastic Snow. We also, which is like, I always call this like ivory soap flakes. So it's like little flakes. This is fresh fallen snow. Sometimes you get a little packet like this in with like a gift set, so you get a little bit of it, or this that's a little bigger, and this is really like crushed styrofoam. You probably could make this yourself if you had a really good blender and put hunks of styrofoam in it and whirred it up, and you could get some real plastics or some fresh fallen snow from that. So those, and this is really great stuff to use like for the edges of the sidewalks and things like that. Each of these can be used separately or together to get the kind of effect that you're looking for. So that's fresh fallen snow. Fresh fallen snow also at one time came in a pine scent. We don't make that anymore. I'm not sure why. And then also we've had a couple of different forms of the blanket of snow, and this is the Village Ice Crystal blanket of snow. Now the Ice Crystal one has little flecks of kind of iridescent flakes in it to give your village a little bit of sparkle, so when the light hits it, it'll pick up and sparkle a little bit. This is about an inch thick. You don't want it too thick. Sometimes the buffalo snow that you buy, like at the craft store and things like that, is too thick, and you put your accessories on it and they kind of get lost, or it's like they're in a big deep snow blizzard, and you don't want them that far down. So this stuff really works out well, and this covers about 10 to 12 square feet, so this really goes a long way. These are all still available. We've also produced ice crystals, glistening snow, and a twinkling blanket of snow, which is a blanket of snow like this that had little tiny lights in it. So that's another thing that we've had over the years. So when you talk about our Snow Village products or our village products, you always have to have snow. Only your own experiences will tell you which snow works the best in a particular situation. Some works better for the edges of roadways, and I think this one works really good to kind of put on the edges. Sometimes people will put this down and then they will use some of this on top of it. Sometimes they will take the real plastic snow and just kind of sprinkle it around so it looks like it has just snow. So whatever your preference is with adding snow to your village, because it really does make a difference. Some works better to cover styrofoam and cords and other mechanics. So you'll most likely find that using a combination is the best way to go. So here's another public service announcement for you. Because of the continuing concern for the COVID epidemic, Department 56 has opted not to send any of our Village, Snow Babies, and Possible Dreams artists out to meet with collectors at in-store events this fall. We are sad that we're not going to have the chance to visit with collectors. I'm especially sad. I enjoyed going out to these events. We hope that we can resume our event schedule next spring in 2022. In the meantime, check with your retailers and see if they are hosting any special events that you can participate in. Some of them really go all out with games and prizes. So check with them locally, and there'll be some fun things to do on a local level. We don't have any of those up on our website as of now, but if there are retailers watching and you're going to be having an open house event, let us know and we'll try to add that to our event calendar so that the collectors will know about that. So let's put some of this out of the way. We're not going to be talking snow today because October 7th is not a day for snow. It's a beautiful day here in Minnesota, and it's a little early for snow here. Some of you have already set up some really great Halloween displays, and we've seen a lot of it online on Facebook, and I am not going to pretend to compete with that. I just thought I'd show you a couple of small vignettes that I plan to use in my own home. And for those of you who don't do Halloween, I've got some ideas on how you can take some of our pieces and just work them into a fall display. So let's take a look at a couple of things here. We've got some trees, and these I believe one of our display people picked up at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and what I like about them is how tall they are. They're good for a backdrop. And I'm going to be making a small vignette on a tray. I think I just lost something down there. Oh, where's my spider? Not that I need the spider. And I've got a couple of, let's see here. Yeah, I've got a couple of the names. These are the Haunted Pines. These are really great for the fall because they're black. They come in a set of 2, 10-inch and 12-inch. And then I've also got, nope, that's all right, I got it. I've also got, and I think we've talked about this one before. I really like this one. This is called the Dark Shadows Backdrop Tree. What I like about it is how narrow it is. It doesn't have much of a footprint because it works well if you're going to do it in a smaller space where you've got something on the back here, like a bookshelf or something like that. So it's it's a nice looking tree. Now this one, of course, you know, it's much deeper, so you need a bigger space to display it. But this one is great. I'm going to take a tray that I found. I always have access to some wonderful props in back that are used by our graphics department. Kelly gets lovely things for our when she does glamour shots and shots for in our brochures. So I have a whole room full of things that I can go and choose from. So that's kind of fun. Although I do bring in some things of my own sometimes. So it's just a tray. It's about probably a 12-inch tray. This happens to be kind of a rustic looking one. It's metal with a nice smooth wooden surface. I'm not so sure I want that surface to show, so I got some, I think this is called gauze cloth. This is something you can pick up at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's something for Halloween that you can use to make kind of witchy kind of looks, and try not to get it all over. But I'm just going to put that in the middle because I want it to be kind of dark. I'm going to add these 2 trees in the back, and because we're doing it on a tray, and I like to get these as close in as possible, you can put this on your table. If it's too big for when you're hosting a dinner, you can move it. So that's kind of neat. These are a couple of trees that were in our regular line that have leaves on them, and we just spray painted them black. So you can do that. There are black bare branch trees, but I kind of like them with the leaves on them. It just adds a little something to it. So I'm just going to add a few of those in, and I'm hiding the bases. I'm going to add, let's try this over here. I like to put the bases right on the wood because then that keeps them standing nice and straight. If you want to, you can always use a little bit of tacky wax on the bottom. That really helps keep them in place. And then when you move them, then they're not going to do much moving. Probably isn't enough room for this one right now. You can take some of our, to add some color. Now this is all black. Now you can make it either for fall or for Halloween. You want to make it for fall, you can add some of our fallen leaves, which we've had in the line for, oh gosh, for years and years. And that certainly adds some color. I really like how that the black really makes it pop. Now, right now I'm going to do it with just a lid accessory piece, which is this, one of the crypts from the Halloween, Snow Village Halloween. This is the one from 2018. And I'm going to tuck this in here. You really don't need to even use a whole house. Got that turn on? Yep. Okay. I've used it with the battery pack, which really works out well if you're going to have it on a tray like this. That way you're not tied with a cord. I just tuck that underneath here. Here's our little accessory that came with a piece. And I might take some, these come in a bag. I'm not sure exactly what they are. They look like little pumpkins, but they're really probably not pumpkins, but they're dried somethings. And I'm going to just add a few of those there. And you've got a really cute little display. That didn't even take 5 minutes. There you go. A cute little display. Now, to make it more of a fall display, now this is really Halloween-y, so let's make it a fall display. I'm going to take these trees out. And I need a little something to add for height. You could always, for fall, you could always have something like some Indian corn. Let's put this over there because it's too cute not to have out. Something just to make this, I'll give this a little background support, so I just used another tray here, but you probably can find something to use at home. And what I did with this particular piece, this is a regular green wreath. I took spray paint, and actually because I wanted to see which one would look better, I sprayed this half of it black. And I thought for a fall display, I would spray this side brown. I don't know if you can see that all that well. But we're going to use the black side because I did something else that was kind of fun. And I wanted to have this so that the wreath would be kind of on an angle. And we have this really neat product that I don't think a whole lot of people know a whole lot about. It is called, make sure I get the name right for you, String of 20 Color Changing LED Lights. This is what it looks like in the package. It's a little battery pack. It uses 3 AA batteries. It's an on-off. Oh, that doesn't look too good, does it? Well, it makes all these different colors, and right now you had to turn it to red, and then I'm going to change it and make it orange. Does that look orange now?
Tilt it towards us a little bit.
There we go. There's orange. Thank you. See, that's why I had Rebecca here, because she can see the front of it. And I just took, you could use a little bit of that black gauze cloth, or this is, I think, to make cobwebs. I just thought I'd do something a little different here. But I thought this really, and again, because it's battery operated, and it has a timer with it, so after 8 hours, if you forget to turn it off after your party, it will turn itself off with a handy dandy little remote control. We're going to put a couple more, and I'm going to use this accessory. This is the pumpkin Halloween water tower. Now you say, oh, this isn't very fall looking because it's got this pumpkin. I'm just going to use it backwards. And now it's just, let's see, did I get something under here? There we go. So now I can use it this way in fall, and maybe leave my Indian corn. I could put in one of the scarecrow, and he also runs on batteries, and I didn't have any more batteries to put, but you could add him in. And it's not a bit Halloween-y. Now it's simply fall. And I think just using this at a different angle was kind of an interesting take on it. So adding a little of the lights, I think that worked really well. And if you wanted to, you could, change the color of the lighting to make it, let's see. And does white show up here? White. Is that white?
It might just be blue white.
That might be kind of a blue white.
Yellow.
I was looking for something that was really not Halloween-y.
Mm.
So let's just go back to the orange, because I think that goes with all the other orange stuff that's on here. But there you have it. There's another little idea. And there's lots of other things that you can add. We've got the fall trees. If you've got those for your Halloween display, those also work really well with this to add a little more color. And the other thing that I had was, this is bittersweet. It's an artificial product, but what I did was I took it apart and I kind of liked adding. It's really hard to do from the back. I'm not an expert designer that way, but I kind of liked having that show up. To just that's another tree. We don't need that in there. And of course, if you took a little more time to hide your ends and things like that, it would look a little bit better. But I really like the idea of just adding a little bit of that burnt orange in the display with some other colors. So there you have it. That's one of the things I'm going to do for a fall vignette at my house. So if you come and visit me, that's what you'll see. Okay. They didn't hire me to be a designer, a display designer, but I tried. We might put we're not going to put a spider in there. That's too Halloween-y. But I kind of like that. You could also put in other Halloween accessories. I think it's kind of cute with just a couple of accessories. And excuse me, other accessories that I had. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. And it's flipped upside down. You don't see it at all. Instead of the pumpkin water tower, another alternative, if you wanted to put a little light up there, is I put in Resting My Bones, which I think looks really cute in there, from our My Bones series. So let your imagination think outside the box a little bit and play with a couple of ideas and post them up on our website so that people can get some other ideas. So there you go. Couple of other points that I wanted to make today. Many of our replacement parts are still out of stock, and if you've watched the news at all, you'll know that these parts, as well as many other things in the United States, are caught up in that backlog of ships waiting to be unloaded on the West Coast at Los Angeles and Long Beach. And I looked it up today, and it said that there were like 160 ships waiting to be unloaded. These big container ships, it says, can carry up to 20,000 containers on each ship. I thought I misread it, so I looked at a couple of sites. I thought, well, did they add a zero? Maybe it's 2,000? Nope, 20,000 of those 40-foot containers that you see on the back of trucks. So it's really a problem, and it's not just our industry, it's everything coming in from the Orient. On October 1st, last Friday, the 2022 Halloween pieces were introduced electronically to our sales staff. Now, some of you may have had the opportunity to see a few of these pieces. I know I showed a few when we had our virtual event this summer for the NCC. And if some of you are in at your retail stores, and some of the retailers have gotten to see a few of these pieces, they're not really out for the world to see. They will not show up on the website until January of 2022. It's really the whole idea doing these ahead of time was to excuse me, was to give the retailers a little more time to figure out how they were going to spend their dollars this year, and if they knew about what their options were going to be for Halloween, that might help them fit everything else into their budget for next year. So those pieces that were just introduced to our sales staff, not to the public, will be available and will be pictured in our 2022 Village brochure in January. Our 2021 brochure is sold out. So don't wait next year. If you want to get a hard copy of the brochure, order it early in the year when we still have copies. I know we kind of begged, borrowed, and stole as many as we could get so that we could fill as many request orders as possible to get the 2021 brochures out. And if you've got one, hang on to it because they're kind of rare. Retirements are coming. November 5th, which will be the day after our next Facebook Live. And I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. So it's always on the first Friday of November. And just to give you a little bit of a tease, there's one piece in Snow Village that is going to retire, and it has been in the line a long time, and it's finally going to retire. Every year I say, oh, I think that piece is going to retire, and every year it comes back because it's been such a popular piece. So if you would like to get in on the preliminary list for the retirements, sign up now on our website so that you will be already in the queue and will get the notice very early on November 5th. I think it goes up right after midnight, is that right?
We haven't scheduled it yet. But
They haven't,
pretty
oh,
late.
Becky hasn't scheduled it yet, but it might be real early in the morning so we can hit, both the East Coast and the West Coast. So sign up now. I'll tell you about it again in November, but that might not be enough time to get you into the queue to get that initial listing. But you can always go to our website on the date of retirement, and there will be links that you can click on to get the list for Snow Babies, Possible Dreams, and all of the villages. And there are going to be several lists for villages. Each of the individual villages, the cross products, and the licensed products, things like that. So look for the villages that you're interested in, and there will be PDFs available that you can print out so that you can have a hard copy when you go to the store that day. Until next time, we'll see ya. Happy villaging.